Hey there and happy Wednesday. Yeah. I am so off this week and I shouldn't be, but yeah, so I'm bringing you a couple bundles that I'm going to use together, and I'm coming early because I get to go swimming, it sounds like, with grandkids later this afternoon, early evening, and I just kind of have to stay on schedule and pick those guys up from daycare and make sure that they're ready. You know, when you're kind of out of the loop of changing little ones into their swimsuits and all that, it takes a lot longer than when you're the mom and you can just zip that into your daily routine like usual. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that, both as moms or grandparents. So what I'm bringing to you today is my Sweet Cherries bundle, and I'm also bringing the Charming Sentiments bundle into this card today as well. And I know some of my stamping friends have been asking, what do you think about that Charming Sentiments bundle? It was one of the first things that caught my eye when I opened up the annual catalog, because I thought, well, that's really fun and different, and I love seeing sentiments cut out close to their font and their personality is what I call it, when they're kind of like all over. And yes, we can cut out sentiments, but it's really fun when you can have a die that just does it perfectly. Then you know that it's done perfectly and it's nice and close to it. So let me put down my iPad, and because that's caught up there. Hello, Rosina. So far, I think you're my only watcher. I don't know. Well, that's showing up anyway, but I see a few more now that I look at my number. Hi there, Marie. Yes, you guys are not alone, because I see other numbers on there, just not names. All right, so this is what I have for you guys today. This is also, excuse me, happens to be one of my favorite color combinations. I've always, for some reason, loved like real red with balmy blue, and then the pop of black that always shows up well with balmy blue and against the real red. Let me just take a sip of water here. My husband noticed that my voice seems hoarse after being out of the hospital and such. So I don't know if I just got weak or if it's something medication-wise, but so I hope I can get through this without being too hoarse, or that I can finish. So yeah, so that's this color combination. So this is the one bundle with the sentiments that I talked about, and then the other bundle obviously is the cherry with the punches. Hi there, Julie. Good to have you on here. So where you can find these products is in the new annual catalog here with this cover. It's always important that you have, I've had that happen every once in a while, and I'm sure you guys go, yes, I've done that, where you can't find something and then you realize you have the cover wrong, or the wrong catalog, and that makes all the difference. So the Sweet Cherries bundle is on page 19. Oh, Marie's headed to Minnesota. I wonder if you're going to be close to my house in your motor home. That sounds fun. That's a great day to travel. So on page 19, you see the Sweetest Cherries bundle. Lots of sentiments, big and small and all different sizes, which I think is great, that you have that much variety, so you can kind of stick in exactly what you need, maybe for the space that you want your layout of your card to be. And then we have like a couple different different cherries to work with, and different other things too, and even a nice little background thing. So that's on page 19. And then I have on page, let me put that there, page 38. This is the one that people have been asking me about, is the Charming Sentiments bundle. So we have all those fantastic sentiments, and then the dies that also go with it too. And I'll show you those when I start to work with it, because there's not just the sentiments, there's like little candles and little starburst things and hearts and stars. So when you see, whoops, this sample right here, that also kind of sold me on that, because it's like, oh, that would be fun just to have those little accent pieces as well. So that's on page 38. And then I'm also kind of emptying my kitchen sink on you guys today. A little bit of everything on page 174. And I wanted to be sure, sometimes I just refer to a die, but on 174, there's these split card textures, and this caught my eye right away, and I feel like that's something that might be hard to find or a little bit hidden, so I wanted to make sure and point out exactly where those are because they're new in the annual catalog too. So everything I'm bringing you is from the annual catalog, and hopefully then you can find it. And Tori's watching, and Tori actually won the Sweetest Cherries bundle, and she was sweet enough to make me a card, a thank you card using it, and I said that has inspired me to want to get out my and actually use my bundle as well. So Tori, then you'll get to another idea for the bundle that you already have. So let me set these things aside and kind of show you what I'm working with today. So for the pop of color, like that the inks give this, and the different textures that the dyes and everything give me, it's starting really basic. I've got some balmy blue, a couple sheets of that, a little strip of soft suede, and the rest is the basic white. So, and Tori loves her cherries. That's great. I love it. Love to hear that. Okay, I'm going to set that aside because that's not going to be used till I'm ready for the inside. I think how I want to start my card today when I'm showing you how to do it is, so my card base, Balmy Blue, is scored at the 4 1/4, so it is 11 by 5 1/2. No, 8 1/2. 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. Let's see. It shouldn't be that hard, guys, right? Okay, so we've got 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 here, and then scored at the 4 1/4, folded this way. I should just say it opens this way, because you guys, if you're card makers and watching my videos, you should know that it's folded this way versus the long way that I sometimes make things. Okay, so then what I did is cut the piece, my normal, like, 1/4 inch step down, 4 by 5 1/4. Hi there, Wendy. And so that's going to be my matting. So I am putting blue on blue. So what I wanted to do was maybe not bring in more color necessarily, but just more texture. So that's why I did color on color. And I've always kind of been a fan of that. Some people love it. Some people are like, no, if I'm going to add another layer, I want a different color so it really pops. And I think it would have been, fun, maybe even in black or pulling in green or something. But this is what I wanted to do today for you guys. So let me bring over my cut and emboss machine. And so, like I said, the first set of dies that I'm going to use is the Split Card Textures dies. And so there's just 2 dies in the set. So you'll see this big one here kind of looks like a, my Dutchy side says a stroopwafel texture. And then this kind of is like a little floral, like leaf pattern or something. I think this will look gorgeous with flowers. And I think this will look gorgeous with anything, or even just like for guy cards where you need kind of that little edgy look to things. I think that'll be fun for that. So I'm going to lay this down, keeping in mind that I kind of want a little bit of edge on the side and bottom for adhesive, just to make it easier. So I kind of want to go, right, let's try and leave about a 1/4 inch edge to just be able to dab on some adhesive. So that's why I want to lay that like so. And then because it's kind of detailed or intricate, however you want to say that, I'm going to run that back and forth. What I loved though was how well like this cuts, and then it just comes off. And then we have all these little pieces that fall out so easily, guys. I was going to have my brush ready, but just with my fingertips, look at that. Every single piece came out just like that. So it kind of has a jagged edge, but then it puts all of that together like so. And then there's this nice solid edge. So what that is great for is behind the scenes, I can scrape all of this into the garbage. And that's what I'm going to do. There, that just goes off quick and easy because I'm going to need this for the other bundle when I'm ready to use that. So I'm going to set that aside for now while I build on my card. So thanks, Tori. Yeah, I love it. Okay, so now I'm going to put some adhesive on here. Just going to kind of make use of that solid spot to give a good dose of adhesive. And then this I kind of like pick up and put down kind of here and there some adhesive. So I just lightly put some around there, and that's really neat. Yeah, Wendy, I thought, like, you look at it in the catalog and you go, okay, do you bypass things like that? I sometimes do, like, what is it? So then you just bypass it. And then I'm like, you know what? I think that could be really cool. And then when you go to page 174 where these dies are, it says, see them used on page. And then you can go to that page. And I think I went, okay, now I think I'm going to like these even more. And like I said, I like the couple different designs. Just they're so different from each other that they put together, but yet very versatile overall. Okay, so this is going to be now the backdrop to our card. And I think this on camera to me, when I'm looking through my phone that I'm videoing with, it looks wavy, like it's crooked, but it's just like a shadow. So if I press that down, then it's straight. But if it pops up, then it looks crooked, but it's just the shadowing, I think. So know that it does lay straight and you don't have to worry about tacking it down or putting an adhesive sheet with it. And I'm going to cover that up with a cherry anyway. Hi, Sherry. Good to have you on here. So next I'm going to work on building my cherries for stamping and punching. So I have all these strips and I have to remember which goes with which, okay? So I just cut this strip of basic white, about 1.25 inches, and I'm going to use real red. I never liked cherries growing up. I thought they were disgusting, and then as I got older, somebody made me, they went picking fresh cherries from Michigan, and I think we were in Wisconsin, and they came back with a whole bowl of fresh cherries. You've got to try these. And I'm like, no, thanks. Trying to be polite. I don't like cherries. And they're like, just eat one. And it's like, oh my goodness. Now cherries might be one of my favorite fruits. They are so yummy. So since then, it's like, okay, now I want this bundle, right? Okay. So with that too, if you've had the real fresh cherries, not something canned or fake or, candied or something, you'll know that a lot of them in nature are almost more like cherry cobbler colored. So I thought, well, maybe I should make a couple of my cherries real red, and maybe I should make a couple cherry cobbler colored. When I got out the cherry cobbler to make and stamp a cherry, it was like way too dark. And even this kind of feels dark, and then like we all know, once your ink dries, it tends to get a little shade lighter too. All right, so yeah, that's all I did was took a quarter or 1.25 inches, excuse me, get all those pieces out of there, strip of basic white, and then just stamped and then punched that. So that goes aside. And then next I'm going to take a strip of soft suede, and you could do this a couple different ways. Hi there, Chris. So you could stamp, because within the stamp set Sweetest Cherries, there's this little stem here. So I could have stamped that with green or some form of brown like crumb cake or soft suede or something like that, and then inked it up, stamped it out, and then punched it. But I kind of liked just the solid look and ease of just taking a skinny strip of soft suede and then punching that 1, 2, I'm going to do this the other way 3 times because I'm building up 3 cherries. So I've got that. So that's done. And then I just need the 3 leaves. So I'm going to take my old olive ink pad for the leaves here. And I'm going to ink up this, and I kind of had to go like, how's that going to punch out in my punch? I'm sure you guys have done that or haven't done that and wish you would have. I know that's usually how it is. Like I put it in, it's like, oh, I'm close. Nope, that was wrong. So this one I can do actually all 3 of the leaves at the same time, and then I can just punch like so, and then because it's a smaller one, it tends to like jump right into my hand. And then, whoops, let me just trim this off. It doesn't want to fit anymore into my punch. And whoops, hopefully it's long enough. Otherwise I have to make my own little extender. There we go, that fits now. Okay, got that. Okay. So we've got all 3 things needed. So my cherry builder punch is all done being used for that, and I can set this aside too. I think I'm done with my ink pad, and I'll set that aside. And now's the time for building the cherries. And I did think about making some of these, or a couple of them ahead, just because it's like, well, if I make one, you guys are smart enough to know like all 3 come together pretty much the same way. So I take my stem, I want it this way, so I'm going to just press it into a glue dot. Whoops, like so, and then peel that off so my glue dot's actually kind of on top. I'm going to put that behind there and do that with the next one. The third one's going to be a little different, guys. So yeah, my husband needed some quick help, so that's why I didn't get my 2 cherries done ahead of time. But it is a busy time on the farm, isn't it always? And so I was glad to be able to help him. All right, so I've got that going the opposite way. And now I'm going to just take those leaves, and they're all going to go, actually, I think I'm going to go this way. I sometimes make the card for you guys and go, that's great, love it. And then the next time as I'm demoing, I'm like, you know what, I kind of want to switch this up a little bit. And so we'll see if I switch it up even more, because I've already now changed the direction of one leaf. Right, so I'm going to peel that off, toss that so it's out of my way. And next, before I kind of start arranging these things on here, now I'm going to work on the sentiment that's going to go in the middle. And like I said, if you're just joining me, that is that Charming Sentiments bundle where you have all the fantastic sentiments and then the matching dies. So I'm using the sentiment here. I kind of want to bring this back out. Usually I don't, but there's so many fun things about this. So I want to use Wishing You the Happiest of Birthdays. So I've got that put on my stamp here, and you have all of these. It's just one set. In the catalog, I think it looks so big, you would think that there's almost 2 stamp sets, or 2 cases, I should say, that make up that stamp bundle. But then when I go to this Sentiment Silhouettes dies, I thought there's a lot of dies. Is it going to be hard to match that up? Well, it's kind of long and skinny. So I'm like, okay, this rules out everything. And then it was just sitting here, and I'm like, okay, it's the only one. So it was actually easier to find this one than I thought. Maybe I might think again when I'm going for my next sentiment. But you can see all of these are not quite like word bubbles, but just nice cutouts. And I'm going to flip back to this one too, because this is the fun one that has like the little bow, the little surprise is what I want to call it, or the Shazam, a couple stars, couple hearts, and there's your apostrophe and a couple things to make the candles, and the, if you want to do the little flame, this is just so that it's longer to have something to glue it onto. And then you've got just a row of dots too that if somebody knows what that's for, or maybe I'll find out, or it's just maybe for fun, just for decoration, to maybe have like dots going along the side of one of your layers. So that I wanted to, just because it's the first time I've used it, show you a little bit more about it, because I know that has been one of the bundles that people have asked the most about in the annual catalog. So I'm going to ink up this. And because it's photopolymer, I'm going to bring back over my stamping mat again. And this is just kind of like a 1-inch strip or scrap, however you want to say that. And I'll set this back over here. Just going to make sure that that dries a little bit. And I'm using black just because I thought the black ink on the white, and then I'm going to layer it on black, would give it the most pop. I felt like red would be a nice popping color, but I think with the cherries and everything, that this actually is going to show up and add more value as a neutral color than as a color. So that's what I wanted to go with, and why. So let me scoot this in here, and then it's really easy to line up because just kind of get all the P's that kind of go down in your Y and just line that up. So that part's really easy to line up on the cutting surface for the cut and emboss machine. So we have that, and then this just slides out just like so. How slick is that? Love, love, love it. So I think you might be seeing me use this a lot more. Do you think? The Sentiments bundle. And then I'm just going to take a couple dimensionals here. And actually, before I kind of do that, I think I want to get out my trimmer. Sometimes I cut it by hand, but this time I'm like, you know what? I want to make sure it's kind of close. So I'm just going to lay that like so that there's, by eyeing it, no official measurement. Just going to make sure that there's a little give of the black cardstock on each side and have that trimmed. Okay. I don't know if you guys kind of just go by the fly on things like that, but I like to show you that that's what I do and it works for me. And then now this is going to be popped up on the black like so. And now this I was kind of playing around with, and I was like, man, should I have kind of went like this? I didn't know. I almost like this more than my card like so. And then the stem though is what kind of got me every time. And I didn't know if I kind of maybe put that, oh, I could put that through there. Maybe I will. I think I'm gonna scoot this down. Like I said, I was all for kind of flying by the seat of my pants and rearranging my card once I got it going for you guys. So I'm gonna see if I can kind of lightly just put some adhesive on there, but actually want to get some dimensionals behind here because that's going to pop up so it's the same. There we go. I kind of like that. Kind of have to tell me what you guys think. So that's kind of fun. Like I said, kind of liked that. And then it's like, do I want to go like that or like that? I think I almost want them facing each other. They look like they're friends if the stems point to each other, and they look like they're fighting if the stems are ignoring each other or something in my mind. I don't know. So I think I kind of want them to look friendly and do it that way. So with that in mind, I don't know, do your cherries fight or do they get along? There we go. Okay, so I've got that, and I'm just putting a couple dimensionals on the back side of that, and I'll arrange them in a fun way here. So we've got that, and then that still leaves plenty of room. So now I have to decide, where do I want to put my fun embellishments, which I know what I want to use, so that's not the problem. The Glossy Dots assortment, like I've used before, is fun. It's got the nice like bright pinks that match a few of our pink collection colors, and some purples and the yellows and the blue. And like this is going to be perfect for today. And so with the Glossy Dots, you'll get 4 different colors, 3 different sizes. So I just want to use like this biggest one. Let's see, I think I'll just go like this, and then the medium one like so, and then I'll take the tiniest one and add that one here, because I really don't want to try and squeeze any of these fun embellishments down in here. That's going to be open, but I think because of the texture in there, that's going to look just fine. And I feel like if I added another cherry, that would look goofy. So so I like it just like that, but I'm still liking this new one that I'm showing you better than the one that I put together there. And then the last thing that I need to do is to add the inside sentiment. And so with that, I'm pulling back to the Sweetest Cherries. And so when you look at this, there's kind of building that you can do. So I was like, okay, how do I build this? So I'm like, oh, let's go wishing you which is 1 stamp, sweet, and day. So what I did is laid those 3 stamps out just on my stamping mat here, and so I put the wishing you and then the sweet and then the day. I laid them all out on my mat and made sure they were straight. And as my stamps are on here, then I come with my big block and just kind of press it in so that they're all on there on one stamp. So then you don't have to worry if they're all straight on your stamp. Then when you stamp it, you know that they will be just the way they were meant to be and straight. Because now this is a bigger area, I'm going to tip that over and then just take my real red ink pad, just kind of press that in. And now I'll scoot this over, straighten that out. And then I can just stamp all 3 of those stamps at once, wishing you a sweet day. How fun is that? I love that big sweet from that stamp set. Hi there, Danielle. Good to have you on here. So this, then I'm just going to add some adhesive to, and then this is going to go on the inside of my card. And this, like I said, the real red and that balmy blue has always been like a really fun color combination for me since I started stamping like 20 years ago. This color combination was very classic then, and it still holds true now. It's kind of fun when you have colors that don't change over time that you like together. And then because this is such a big sentiment, doesn't leave a lot of room for writing, I decided not to kind of do my usual follow through where sometimes I'll add another cherry. I mean, there would be room and you could even stamp it off, but I'm today just leaving it with just the sentiment in there to go with that. So there you have some inspiration today. And that's the host code that I'm using this month. So for those that have been ordering, yesterday was a fun day with free shipping. It was just fun to see that people were getting great deals still from the retiring catalog. They were getting free shipping on it. Some people were doing the kits collection, buy one, get one half off. And so it's just fun to see what everybody was shopping for with the free shipping sale that was going on. So with that host code and everybody used it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is 100% success that people are getting used to plugging in that host code. So that must mean you guys like my cards. So that's my thank you to you. Anybody that orders this month using that host code, they're gonna get a 3-pack of 3 sweet little cards from me that I've been crafting this month to you as a thank you for using that host code. So I will be back again tomorrow afternoon to give you some more inspiration from the new catalog. But until then, it sounds like I get to go pick up my grandkids from daycare and then go swimming. So have a good evening, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.